Hey, welcome back to our third episode of Two Talking Who. I am Casey.
I'm Rob, and we are going to be talking about the Unquiet Dead. My initial thoughts is I like the going back in time, the history aspect of it. Uh, it was it was a little different, which we'll get more into the details as we get through this episode. But overall, I thought it was okay. Um, It didn't have me on the edge of my seat the whole time. It was pretty straightforward. It just kind of they. I mean, there were a couple hidden unknowns that come out throughout the episode, but overall, it was pretty straightforward. This is what's going on. Let's get after it. Um, well, I'll leave it at that for now, and then we can talk more about the other details as we go along. What was your thoughts after revisiting?
My initial thoughts were it was better than I remember. I hadn't gone back and watched this one for a while because for some
Hmm.
reason I just thought, well, it's one of my least favorites. But
Yeah.
honestly, after the rewatch, I truly enjoyed it. Thought there was a lot of cool stuff to it.
Hmm. Um,
Yeah, go ahead.
you're good.
Yeah, I'm good.
um, One of my thoughts was to to bring up the what was going on there with the gas people, you know, uh, jumping into the bodies of the dead because they were going extinct. So they're trying to find basically a place to take over. You don't know that at first, spoiler, but find that out more towards the end of the episode. But I was thinking they're jumping into all the dead, but yeah, I feel sorry for somebody that's having a lot of uh, some medical stomach issues. Does that mean that they could be jumped into because they're all bloated and gassy, or is it just the undead? Because I know there's a few times back in the day where I was like, oh, I'd be in trouble.
It's not just the dead because spoilers, they jump into the funeral director, kill him, then take him.
Hmm. Yeah,
So, but we don't
that is
find that out
true.
until
That is
later.
true. Right, right. 'Cause I didn't know if he was. Yeah, I guess he was. They did jump into him, which killed him. Or I didn't catch whether or not he, like, if he died, and I missed it. I watched it a couple times, and like, I don't see him hitting his head or anything like that really to kill him. But and Gwyneth was technically alive, but then she died when she got in the archway there towards the end of the episode. So, but it was interesting where they wanted to, I don't know, they just wanted to give their respects to Charles Dickinson or whatever.
Charles Dickens.
Yeah, yeah, Dickinson. I don't know why I said that. Dickens, but I don't know. One of the writers, he may have been, he might have been one of his influence influenced him in his decision to become a writer and things like that. One of the writers of the show. So like somebody's just trying to shout out, give respect there.
Uh, Dickens will not be the last famous person they run into. It's kind of a
Yeah,
theme.
I was wondering. Mm-hmm. Sorry about that. I was wondering if that was gonna start taking place. You know, because they have the capability of going anywhere and everywhere. Goes back to that morality issue that a lot of people have. If you could go back, would you kill baby X evil dictator? Yeah. Would you go back and kill that baby to save all these, yeah, type of, so I was wondering if they'd run into the different issues and things like that. But I didn't dwell on it too much because I just want to enjoy each episode as it comes. So
Right. Yeah. No.
I don't want to think too far ahead. So, what was your favorite part of this episode?
Well, honestly, I really liked when the doctor realized it was Charles Dickens and just explaining to him that he's his biggest fan
Yeah,
and he has no clue what a fan means.
like how could you possibly be a fan?
Yeah. Then later on, when he told him to shut up, that was pretty good too.
Yeah, yeah. As always, there's plenty of little one-liners in there. Uh, One of the funniest parts, something wasn't even said. Uh, oh my goodness, sorry, I spaced on it. But Gwyneth is talking, I believe, to Dickens, and they're in the funeral home area, and they're all kind of talking about stuff. He's just kind of leaning up against the wall, and somebody says something, and he just has the cheesiest looking grin, smile on his face, and like nodding his head. Yeah. It just kind of cracked me up. You know what part I'm talking about?
I think so. Because when they were
Uh,
getting tea,
huh?
it was when she was handing out all the tea because she told the doctor two sugars like you like it, and he's never told her that. So he's like, "What?"
Yeah.
So he knew there was
So,
something special about her then.
yeah, he kind of, yeah, you saw the look on his face there. That's not the, um, I wish I could remember. It's making me irritated now, but they're all standing there. I think they're arguing about what's going on with the gas people. He's kind of off in the back of the room, just leaning up against the wall. Somebody says something, and he just gets this really funny look on his face. I don't know. And the whole the I I'm glad Rose jumped in and said it because I was thinking the same thing. Where he's like uh, something about we have to have a happy medium or something when they were getting ready to do the seance. He's like, we need a happy medium, and she's like, I can't believe you said that. But mm,
I did
you
like
have any? Yeah,
I did like the argument on morality of using corpses. How
yeah.
opposed Rose was.
Hmm.
I mean, honestly, in that same scenario, with the way that I think and believe, I would have been the same way.
Yeah, because you just even though even though it is just a body, it you still pay respects to that. But that's the same. It's somewhat the same, somewhat the same argument that people have when it comes to, not to get off on tangent here, but people use the same argument with cremation if you're for or against it, because it's just the body. You're no longer here. But a lot of people feel that the body is supposed to, naturally go back to ash into the earth and not be accelerated by incinerary. But it's the same kind of, people have that same kind of morality thing when it comes to cremation versus burial,
And
such as she did.
what about organ donating? Some people are against it because they said
Mhm.
I should stay together. I'm not
Yeah.
against it because if it could save a life, it could save a life. So,
Yeah.
now maybe I'm arguing the other side of it. So
Yeah.
if I'm dead, take my body if it helps someone else live.
Yeah.
The doctor did not know they were evil.
That is true.
And he was being guilted because they said it happened in a time war. And
Yeah.
he fought in a time war, which I'm not sure
Yeah.
you know everything about yet. So I'll leave it at that.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they were trying to play off his sympathy, his it's manipulating him using emotional warfare. But this episode was pretty straightforward, nothing too hidden other than their
Intentions.
their intentions, and also it's ghosts and things like that aren't really, specters and ghosts aren't really real. Like they allude to that they might be aliens from another universe trying to break through.
Which they were.
Because because there were ghosts and specters raising the dead, but they're actually aliens from another planet or another universe far, far away that lost their bodies, and now they're in a, as they put it, gaseous state.
The story I felt was straightforward. I felt like it was paced really well. So the episode went faster than the time. It felt faster because there was not a lot of turns. So it was paced really well.
I agree. I thought the same thing. There was really no. We had talked off recording before, and I had mentioned I thought it was pretty basic. Not basic as in boring, but it was basic, straightforward. There was really no downtime at all to this episode. Even last episode and the first episode too, I thought that there was a couple. I thought there was a few minutes here and there in those two episodes where there was a little bit of a lull. A few minutes that was kind of slow and dragged out some. But this episode, I mean, it started, went straight all the way through till the end. I don't remember sitting thinking like, oh, this part's kind of slow. It just kept follow, and it just kept going. So I actually kind of enjoyed it. I know it's about your least favorite. I actually kind of myself, I enjoyed it more than the last episode.
Good.
End of the world. Good. So, and at this point in time, I'm only 3 episodes in, of course. But out of the 3, I would rank them the first one. Of course, you gotta like the first one. Wouldn't have the rest of them without the first one. So I'd have to give it the, first one first, and then this third episode, I'd place it second, and the end of the world as the third at this point in time. But everybody's taste is different, so
Yeah, there's a little bit of everything for people when they watch Doctor Who. So
yeah, I can see that so far.
I am excited. I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but next episode is one of my favorites of the season, and I want to say it's a 2-parter. So we got to figure out if we're going to watch both parts or just do one part and talk about it. We'll talk about that off air because there's two parters this season.
I'd really like to know some. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
I'd like to know some of the airtime. It doesn't have anything to do with what we're discussing, but at the same time, it would be kind of nice to know, which I can look up, the air times, because we wondered if this was released around Christmas, because it had a element of Christmas time feel to it, of course, because they plugged A Christmas Carol and things like that. And
it was December 24th.
As
far as the show goes.
Yeah. I did like that part when he was standing on stage and he was talking about Marley.
Yeah, me too.
And he's like, that it looks like that. That lady's head's glowing in the middle of the but I thought it was interesting that they kind of had him initially save the day before Gwyneth. Charles kind of saved the day. He's like, gas. Turn off the flame, turn up the gas. And even the doctor didn't think about that yet. I'm sure he would have eventually, but he's like, brilliant.
And then this won't be the last time you hear about the rift in Cardiff.
All right.
It's very
I could tell that something was going on, because whenever he said it, they were both kind of, when he was saying where they were at. That's one thing that I forgot, but I wanted to bring up. Excuse me. Maybe I missed it in the last episode or the episode before that, but it really, and I don't know if they touch on it later on, but it seemed like they were trying to introduce that time travel is indeed not always perfect. You don't always go where you think you're going, because it appeared, if I remember correctly, they were talking about going 1860 London or something like that. And he was when he looked at her and said, "This is not 1860, it's 1869." Mm-hmm. And she was like, "I don't care." And then that's when he was Cardiff or wherever they were at.
Cardiff.
And she's like, "Oh, he's at 1869. So I didn't know if that was back in the day, they would call that foreshadowing. Nowadays, they call it Easter egg.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think she just seemed disappointed because being from London, she's probably vacationed in Cardiff before. It's not that far. She was hoping to be in Italy, I think. That's where they're originally going. So she
okay.
probably would have been happy
I
with
must have
any
missed that.
other place. They were going to Vienna. I'm sorry, Vienna.
But I thought it was interesting that they wanted to make sure that everyone knew. I don't know if this comes into play with different doctors, the same doctor, or if it's just something they did for this episode. But it seemed like they were trying to show the inconsistency, or time travel is not always
Precise.
Yeah, you might end up somewhere that you're not supposed to, or a time that you didn't mean to go to, even though your target is. So I thought they were introducing that for a specific reason, but maybe not. I just thought.
Did you see how excited he was when he heard that first scream?
Yeah, that was so funny. He's like, that's more like it. He was very excited about that. Yeah.
He's a problem solver.
He is.
Or starter. I don't know
yet. I do know, real quick, to jump back to what you were saying, the name of the next episode, Aliens of London.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't appear to be a two-parter, but because of the titles, but it could be one of those continued into the next episode. I haven't watched it yet, so
yeah,
even though they have two, even though they don't have the same title, so like you said, we can check that out and talk about it more.
Yeah,
we may. Yeah. So, anything else that you'd like to add about this episode? It was pretty straightforward, entertaining.
No, I think we've covered it. Would like to get our score from 1 to 5 TARDISes. I'll let you know first.
Let me go back in my memory here so I can stay consistent with my rankings of episodes. I believe I gave the first episode a, do you remember, 3.7 or something like that, or was it
maybe higher? I just go episode by episode, how I feel about that one.
I like this one better than the last one. Of course, you can't, as I said previously, can't have these without the first one. But I'd put it around a 4, and it could be because now that I've got a couple episodes under my belt, so to speak, that this was only the 3rd episode, but I was into it a little more. Other than first episode being introduced to it, second episode was it was okay, but there were some slow moments to it, and this one I liked how the flow of this episode, it flowed really well. It was entertaining enough. So yeah, I'd give it a 4 on this one.
I would give it a 4 also, because the rewatch, I truly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Maybe different frame of mind this time because of the show, but really enjoyed it. So happy to have done it. Now, do we have time for a little show and tell, some stuff I picked up?
Yeah, I got time.
All right.
Why don't I start with this real quick? Our little tumblers that we got. To Talking Who. Nice little tumbler. Shout out to your wife for having those done for us. Appreciate that.
She's awesome. She's going to work on shirts next.
Looking forward to it.
I picked up another Cyberman. Don't judge me, but he's number 7. I don't know what my sickness is. I like the troop builds.
Yeah.
I also picked up a Mickey. Haven't opened him yet.
Yeah.
Excited to open him. Now, Rob hasn't seen this guy yet, so we will hold off talking about him till next season.
Yeah.
As well as I can't wait to introduce him to the Weeping Angels. It's number 5. I got 5 of these now. And going old school, I got the 5th Doctor with the TARDIS.
Yeah.
TARDIS? Not TARDIS. I'm so sorry. I'm tired. A Dalek.
A Dalek.
You haven't seen the Daleks yet either, have you?
No, I have not.
They're very nice. They're like R2-D2.
Yeah.
And I got a mummy set this is back from the 4th Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And $19. Or I could have bought a figure of one of the mummies for $19. So I got the whole set.
Yeah, sounds like you got a deal.
I did. And the store is called Who North America. If you're close to Camby, Indiana, I recommend you check it out. If not, they do have online sales. It's Who North America, and the interface is pretty easy to navigate. Lots of great stuff. And it's a store completely Doctor Who, so I like to support them.
Yeah. Maybe, sorry about that. Maybe we can put a link in the description.
Yeah.
For that store.
And maybe we should make flyers and drop them off at a store for our podcast.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Really appreciate anybody who's listening to this. If you are a fan of Doctor Who, thank you. If you have other friends who love Doctor Who, please share it.
Yeah.
We would like to grow it.
And even if you're not and you just enjoy watching a couple old guys chat about a TV show, hanging out with a toy show there afterwards, you can share it too.
It's toy and tell.
Yeah.
But just let everybody know we appreciate you. If you could, please like, subscribe, follow, share. We're going to do this about every 2 weeks. There may be a time you see us 2 weeks in a row. There may be a time you don't see us for 3 weeks. That's when life gets in the way. But we are dedicated to have this done at least every 2 weeks.
Yeah. And if things continue, you might see some random acts thrown in here in the future down the line, but right now we're focused on Doctor Who episodes. So looking forward to it.
All right. And so that being said, we will wish you all a great couple weeks and hope to see you again.
Yeah. Thanks for stopping by.